Start of day 86, June 25. Up and at an early start. Supposed to be hot today again too, not quite as hot as yesterday. But the high is supposed to be 92, any miles you can get out of the way. When it's cool, right now it's 74 with a breeze. It's pretty humid, but that's way better than 92 with a breeze or no breeze. And so I'm going to try to knock some miles out here this morning before it gets hot. Then we'll see. This heat was really hard yesterday. Just had to really ratchet back what I could do, and there are a fair amount of rocks in New Jersey. I'm hoping maybe that moderates a little bit today, but you never know. So I'm taking you with me. I'm at mile marker 1311 point something, or maybe 1312 northbound. Need to get at least 10 in today. Gotta hike to water. Water is at like almost 10, and then at like 16 or 17. So this water business has been kicking my butt. So it either carrying it or having to pull up short. So I'll keep taking you with me. Even though it's a really hot day, we've got this gorgeous view up here from the top of New Jersey. Just goes on and on and on forever. Hiking over these rocks, 90-degree heat. When the sun's behind the clouds, it's bearable. When the sun comes out, it's pretty scorching hot. But I think we're going to duck back into the trees here shortly. But it's beautiful. Almost 6 miles in today. I've had some really nice sections of trail, and I've had some really rocky sections of trail, but the rocks have been kind of interspersed. I've had a really nice section here, and it just turned rocky as I got the camera out, but not too bad. So there was a water source I wanted to hit at about 3 miles from my camp. It was down a side road, and I couldn't find it. So there was one just a hair over a mile ahead. It's a stream, it crosses the trail. I'm in good shape. The temperature is still pretty moderate, 78 degrees, so I'm pushing pretty hard to get some miles in here because the temperature will only go up. So anything I can do before noon will be much cooler. So let me show you a little bit what the trail looks like now. It's not bad at all. Some occasional rocks to dodge. I'm sure the trail's going to have to go down to go to water. So at some point here, it's going to turn and go down. Just a little ways back, maybe half a mile, there was a short but pretty serious rock scramble. I took a picture of the rocks just because I thought they were interesting, and then the trail goes straight up over the front of them. So you'll see that at the end of the video. So I guess we all need to be challenged each day, right? So that was my challenge for today. Hopefully that's it. The other issue is that water still becomes an issue here. So from this next water stop, which is a stream, I think it's a good water source. It's only like 2.5 miles to a shelter with water, and then I think there's about 6.5 miles before the next water. So really would like to do more than 9.5 miles today. But I need to look at the trail profile and guess and just see how I feel by the time I get to lunchtime. It'd be great to have 12 miles in by lunch, well, 10 miles in by 11:30 or 11, and then see if I could ease my way through 2 more miles. But if it was hiking like this for another 6 miles past that shelter, that would be no problem. I could do that. I could just do it gently, slow down a little bit, take breaks. I can easily do 2 miles an hour on this kind of trail, sometimes 2.5, almost 3. And so you can just slow your pace down. But anyway, it is what it is. Every day brings a certain amount of uncertainty, and you have to figure it out. There's a certain point you have to make a decision and commit. So it gives you no outs. And if I was to take off from that one shelter and get 3 miles in, I got to do the other 3.5. You know, you just, I guess if it got terrible, you know, half a mile up, you can turn around and go back. But at a certain point, you just have to commit, and you need to keep pressing forward, and your body will do a lot more than you think it will, even though it complains a little bit. And it'd be surprising how much recovery happens during the night. When you get up the next morning, you don't feel as bad as what you thought you would. So gonna keep putting one foot in front of the other, cruising down this trail. The next thing I need to do is figure out my next resupply point. I have 3/4 days of food because I carried too much out of my last stop in Stroudsburg. And paying the price for that extra, I don't know. I guess it's only a couple of pounds of food, but everything makes a difference. A heavy pack is more demoralizing than a lighter pack. Well, looks like I need to pay a little bit more attention here. So I'll see you on down the trail. So this is a wrap up of day 85. So I ended up going 9.5 miles to a shelter. There was some pretty challenging parts of hiking today, and then there's some really good parts. But it just was like 93, 94 degrees and hot, and I didn't really have a good jumping off point at the mileage I would have liked to have done. I would have liked to have done 12 or 13. So there's a town coming up, but there's no camping, and I would have had to try to, I don't know, finagle the rules maybe a little bit and find a way to sneak some water somewhere. And then the other shelter was another 6 miles, which I don't think I had in my legs. This heat is taking it out of me. My feet are still bothering me some, but it's really good to get off of them. So I'm hoping by doing some shorter days here that we're going to get my feet in a better place. The rocks in New Jersey are real. They aren't the same as Pennsylvania. They're not as bad as Pennsylvania, but nevertheless, it slows you down. And today, and maybe I mentioned this already, I forget, but today I took a picture of kind of a rock formation off to my left, and I thought, oh, that's kind of pretty. And then the trail turned and went straight up the face of the rock formation. It was a short rock scramble, and the way they wound you up through there were plenty of handholds and footholds, but I thought, really? And then there were a lot of rock outcroppings, or kind of, I don't know, you'll see in some of the photos that just kind of slabs of rock laying sideways that I walked on. And so, yeah, New Jersey has rocks. So does Virginia and Maryland, and West Virginia has rocks too, but these, sometimes go on for a mile or so, and it just is a challenge to keep doing it. The terrain has not been that hard, except when you had a climb, and then you're making big step ups on rocks. It's harder to make a big step up than a little one. So I'm a little, wish the mileage would have been longer, but there wasn't a good alternative. So tomorrow I think the goal is about 12 miles to a shelter. There isn't water at that shelter, but they say that they have a water cache, so evidently somebody maintains a water cache there at that shelter. So I guess we'll find out. If that's not true, that there's a shelter a couple more miles on that has water. I really don't want to do a 14, 15 mile day, but you never know. I mean, it just depends on how the trail is. It could be starting to even out a little bit. I mean, I had some really good trail today, and then I had some fairly gnarly trail. My friend Caboose said that the rocks continue in New Jersey about half the way through. New Jersey is 88 miles. I am, let me see, 25 miles in, so maybe another day. We'll kind of put these rocks to rest. Who knows? I don't imagine they'll go away altogether. Also looking at resupply, thinking I carried a lot of food out, but it looks like I might need it all to get into Unionville, New York. For resupply, I got to figure out how to get into town. It's 3.9 miles from the trail, so I've never used Uber, so I may have to fire up Uber and see if I can get a ride on Uber, or see if there's a shuttle service, although I don't think there's shuttle services much in New York because they have a law against hostels. So you have to stay in a hotel in New York. You can't stay in a hostel. You can stay in a hostel in New Jersey if you can find one, and there is one coming up here in probably 2-3 more days past Unionville, New York, that I could stay in, but that doesn't really suit my purpose too much, so unless because I don't want to be out of food. So that's a wrap up of day 85. I tell you, all this planning and logistics is the hard part for me. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm behind a bug net here on the hammock because the mosquitoes at this shelter are insane. I've added to my collection of mosquito bites. And just gone down to get water, I sprayed myself with mosquito repellent, but they find the places where you haven't rubbed it on and they get you. So it is what it is. I've already got quite a number from previous incidents, so it's just one more. So I haven't put up my tarp yet, but I will put up the tarp because there's like a 20% chance of rain tonight, and going into tomorrow for probably the next 5 days, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow I think it's like 20% chance, but then it increases to 50% going into the other days, so we'll see how that impacts it. Talking about highs in the mid 70s, so it could be muggy and wet, but it'll be overcast, and so the sun won't be beaten down. So we'll just see what happens here, and I'm taking you with me. Tonight's supper is a Nora rice and pasta side with added a foil pack of chicken. All fairness, the directions do call for adding a fair amount of butter to it, but ends up being a little bit more bland than the ramen bomb I had last night. Had to get some extra calories in tonight. I carried a block of cheddar cheese out with me, half-pound block, and I've been eating it in like 4 chunks. So I had a big chunk of cheese, and I had a number of spoonfuls of peanut butter. Pound for pound peanut butter is a good calorie source. So those are my extra calories. We're not eating. We're not making all these meals for taste. That's just for convenience and packability. But just another menu choice here from the grocery store. When I do my own meals and I have them shipped to me, I have a little bit more variety. And honestly, for the most part, they taste better.